Hello. So good morning. So we'll start with first chapter on the community pharmacy. Mainly, what is the pharmacy practice and how this will help in our healthcare system. So we are the part of Bharati Vidyapit Pune College of Pharmacy. We should be proud and fortunate that our college is ranked on the 22nd position in the All India basis as per the NRI ranking of this year. So I congratulate you all for this purpose. So we'll go some basics in the pharmacy profession, pharmacy education, and then we'll come to this pharmacy practice. So here the slide what I'm presenting is related to the first how we separated from physicians. So when the any animal or human being is exist, definitely there is a growth and there is definitely illness also. And to treat this illness, the two professionals are required. Mainly the first professional required was the physician or the doctor. Mm. But slowly that practice grown. And there was a separation between the drug manufacturer or the drug provider and one diagnosis who is doing the diagnosis and who is suggesting the medicament that become the physician. So in the second half of the European Middle Ages, the pharmacist is separated from physicians. And when this profession separated, it separated in two parts or the under two different titles. The first is the apothecaries and second is the drug merchant. Apothecaries, these are the pharmaceutical chemist. What means pharmaceutical chemist? They are involved mainly in the dispensing, hmm, supplying the medicament to the patient as per the prescription written by the physician. And the drug merchant, so these are the compounder in short. They were compounding, their manufacturing the medicament. So the apothecaries and the drug merchant, or in other way it is called as a chemist and druggists. So chemist is related to the dispensing and the druggist is related to the compounding. And that term till exists in the Indian law. And we see all the retail pharmacies have this word chemist and druggist. We'll go in understanding each and everything. And I expect the interactive. hmm, so when I ask any something, you have to on your speaker and be interactive, because interactive sessions only give the clarity of understanding. So my point always is that there is no need to speak right. There is no need to speak very correct. So speak what you think is more important. When we speak what you think, we can judge you and we can improve your thinking, or I will tell you what is the exact facts. So therefore, don't worry the throughout the your education. I'm not saying only for my lecture, but in each and every lecture throughout your learning. So what you think is more important than what we teach. What you think it goes wrong, I appreciate that your point will be contributing for all your the batch 30 students. You will be contributing for 30 students, because same mistake, some wrong or some confusion may be in the minds of others, but they are not asking. So I appreciate you because you are taking a lead to speak something. So this is the concept of interactive teaching, and that we have to follow. So the first thing, so what you understood by chemist and druggist? Why there are we call as a pharmacist and all these things? So means what means community pharmacy, or what means chemist and druggist? Anybody?
So, can you repeat the question?
What you understood by the community pharmacy or pharmacy practice?
Community pharmacists are those who directly come in contact with people in the
Fantastic.
and they serve like they the medicines with
Yeah, fantastic.
With
So
public healthcare,
public health care.
basic facilities are being provided.
Fantastic. So we'll go on this line. So your understanding is very correct. So as the name community pharmacy, they are involved directly in the community to provide the services. So which are the services expected, that we'll see. So we'll go for this. Okay. First, how the community pharmacies are separated, druggists are separated, we've seen. Then we'll go for the pharmacy education. Correct. So again, the pharmacy education is very, very historical. So we'll go in India concern. So in India, actually in 1842, the Goa College of Pharmacy is established. So this Goa College of Pharmacy, at that time it was not a part of India. Goa was not part of India. But today, as it is a part of India, we should be proud that we have the so old college in India, which is established in 1942 as the Goa College of Pharmacy. So in the real India at that time, again there was a problem of spurious drugs. Then the drugs were not manufactured in India. Mainly these are the imported from the Britishers. British rulers were there. So there was confusion and the complexity in the total drug business. Therefore, at that time, the committee set by government is called as the Professor R.N. Chopra Committee. They recommended 2 points. One is something regulatory provision should be there in India, and secondly, some human resource development should be there, so to promote the profession. And accordingly, Drug and Cosmetic Act is established in 1940. So this Drug and Cosmetic Act deals with all the legal points related to the manufacturing, research, clinical trial, and sale of medicament, advertise of medicament, Magic Remedies Act. What act we know, list of the acts. These are the parts of Drug and Cosmetic Act. And there are the rules. Again, these acts are further elaborated in the rules 1945. So another act is the Pharmacy Act 1948. So this Pharmacy Act is related to the profession, how profession should be, how the pharmacy should work, how we should take a care likewise. So that profession part also involves the human resource development which is required to develop that profession. So to develop this human resource, or in other ways to establish the colleges, pharmaceutical institutes for their training, the separate component is established in India, that is the Pharmacy Council of India under a Pharmacy Act. So Pharmacy Act is the head point under which Pharmacy Council of India PCI is established after 1 year, that is 1949, and that PCI designs all our regulatory things for education and for professional development. So the first what they did, it is the ER, that is the Education Regulation 1953. It is designed by PCI, and as per that syllabus, ER means syllabus, as per that syllabus or regulation, the first college started, diploma college, this is in the Birla Institute of Technology as per the year 53. This is the first college. And now this ER at a diploma level is revised many times. In 1972 it is revised, 81 it is revised, and at present we are using 1981 ER. Actually, it is supposed to be revised, but it is the process is going on. So what this part we seen, that is the Pharmacy Council first started with the diploma pharmacy. Why? Because to run the medical stores. Okay. So this one part. Second point, there was the Drug and Cosmetic Act. So before that, one thing happened, that is in 1931, the great personality which is called as a father of pharmacy education in India is a Professor Emil Schropp, who thought that okay, there is a need of a graduate, that is the B.Pharm student or any graduate which can support drug manufacturing. So one person is required for the sale of drugs, another person is required for a drug manufacturing. So in Banaras Hindu University only in 1931, BSc specialization in pharmaceutical chemistry started by Professor Emil Schropp, and slowly it is converted into B.Pharm, and from 1937 the B.Pharm 3 years course, it was started in Banaras Hindu University mainly to support pharmaceutical industry manufacturing component, and thus our journey started. And now we have diploma pharmacy, B pharmacy. The recent is the pharmacy practice. These are all are diploma is the diploma level, B Pharm and B Pharm practice are the undergraduate level. Then the M Pharm we have M Pharm in different branches after B Pharm. Then in 2008, the present president, that is Dr. B Suresh, he thought that like international or global scenario, we should have the profession who will take care of a patient, because as per the MS Shroff concept or the old concept, so that one is the manufacturer is ready from that B Pharm, and diploma pharmacist is ready from the for the sales of medicament. So another person is the clinical pharmacist or a practicing pharmacist. So basic aim of a PharmD is to develop or to produce to make available a practicing pharmacist. As we know that directly admission from 12th are there, or the diploma level, or after B Pharm level also. After that, that B Pharm education, we have the PhD. So after M Pharm, you can do PhD, or after PharmD also you can do the PhD. After PhD, you can do the any postdoc also. All this series like a other. So this is our scenario in short of the education, which is developed as per the Pharmacy Act. Now pharmacy. So pharmacy is divided into two parts nowadays. So before 2008, only B Pharm was there. So whether it is a pharmacy practice, or is a hospital pharmacy, or any clinical trial, what it may be, or drug manufacturing, all is done by the B Pharm graduate. So now we can see there is a two separate lines are possible. That is one is the pharmaceutical science, pharmaceutical technology, and another is the pharmacy practice. So we see that in the technology, which much more related to the drug manufacturing and all this, and pharmacy practice, it is a practice like a doctor do practice, advocate do practice, where we serve the community, and all these components comes under the that practice component. That is a healthcare provider and is a pharma technocrat. But another good point is that there is no separation. So the B Pharm can work in the pharmacy practice area, or pharmacy practice can open a industry also. But the expertise or the knowledge delivery, if we consider, then in a PharmD we cover much more the patient related aspect, and in the B Pharm there is the industrial aspect. So these are the two lines. So this is the pharmaceutical care. So as the first is the concept of pharmaceutical care, then it comes community pharmacy, clinical pharmacy, hospital pharmacy. It is a big term, pharmaceutical care. So which is related to all our services for the healthy nation or healthy humanity. So if we see, this is a provision of drug therapy and other patient care services intended to achieve outcome related to the care or prevention of disease, elimination, reduction of the patient symptoms, arresting on the solving disease. So it is a very big or large term which summarize all our activities. It is a pharmaceutical care. And as you are entered into the PharmD, you have to work in this area, pharmaceutical care. Under this, we are starting our first chapter, that is the community pharmacy practice. So as we seen the different components of the care, pharmaceutical care. So this is the pharmacy practice definition as per the pharmacy practice regulation of India, which is published on 15 January 2015. So these are the points. So what is the responsibility given to you? The first, interpretation, evaluation of prescription or medical orders. It may be case paper or prescription. What it may be. So you should be able to understand that why doctor written that prescription, where there are some problems in the prescription, whether the dose is correct, likewise all. Secondly, participation in a drug or device selection. You are the final person. Though doctor is writing, at present what is happening we'll see afterwards slowly. So doctor is writing, the final decision should be yours, because we are master in the drug and doctor is master in the disease, correct? So this is the point. So So if we make that mentality, if we make that the point, okay, we are responsible for the half part in the disease treatment. That is, we are producing a drug, our brother producing a drugs, we are dispensing a drug, and we are ensuring that the drug administration is proper, or drug regime review means the prescription contains 5-6 drugs and all these drugs are compatible. There is no drug interaction, there is no any chance of adverse drug reactions or any research related to this. All this activity we have to do. It is a pharmaceutical practice component. Provision of patient counseling. Definitely, we should speak with the doctor, we should speak with the patient also, because we should give all the guidelines regarding the drug administration, when to take medicament, whether to take medicament with food or without food. Many issues are there. So whether to take half dose or full dose, if the patient have the jaundice, liver is weak, or the patient have some kidney problem, okay, in such cases it requires to monitor dose also. It is called as a therapeutic drug monitoring also. So all these concepts, patient counseling, check that patient is understood the drug therapy, he is taking the medicament properly. So all these issues comes under the patient counseling, where you are interacting with the that patient. And fourth point is a compounding, labeling, all. So I am also compounding if it is required, labeling, or in the dispensing also. If I have the any bottle, correct, on the bottle dose is not written. So actually practice should be, we should attach another paper, another label on it mentioning the dose, because on the bottle it is written as directed by physician. So if it is written by as directed by physician, there is a confusion. So the physician did his work. Physician diagnosed the disease. He suggested the drug. Now it is your duty to make it easier for patient how to take that medicament. So means labeling is important. Storage is important, where that medicament should be stored by the patient. Because if the storage is improper, then it will affect on the stability of the drug. Therefore, compounding, labeling, storage, safe storage, drug devices, and last is the maintaining a record. So what medicament we are giving to the or dispensing to the patient, we should have a record. So why record is required? Because what is the disease? Whether that medicament is appropriate for disease or not. What is the age of patient? Whether the dose is appropriate for the age of patient. What is the sex of that patient? Whether it is indicated or contraindicated for that patient. So many things are there. What is the qualification of doctor? What is the refill? Whether the patient is continuously taking that medicament like a diabetes or a blood pressure drug. Okay, he may require. So all this record is there, and that record will help to monitor the all drug therapy. And if we make a record, if we monitor the drug therapy, definitely we will become a family pharmacist of that total family, total patient. That is missing in India. We have the general practitioners, which are our family physicians, but rarely we have the family pharmacist. Why? Because we are not maintaining that record. We'll see afterwards what to do, what are the options possible. That is a part. So this is the 4 points of the pharmacy practice. It is a theme. So means in throughout your B pharmacy, that PharmD, your work is like this. Either you will work in the clinical aspect, community aspect, hospital aspect, anywhere. But these are the points. These are the basic fundamental points under the pharmacy practice. Now we will go for a definitions. So what books I written from 2004 onwards? So I started writing a book, Modern Dispensing Pharmacy, in 2004. So on the only one line, dispensing, how dispensing is a different from compounding, because what I studied or we studied at that time was from one famous book, very good book, is the Cooper and Gunn Dispensing Pharmacy, but whole syllabus on the compounding. And now we say, we know that nowadays compounding is not there. So mainly pharmacists involved in the drug supply or drug dispensing. So where the compounding part is very less, but all that book was related to the compounding. Then I thought the book should be there which will guide dispensing, and this is the fundamental of community pharmacy, the dispensing. So dispensing is the interpretation, evaluation and supply of drug as per the prescription to the patient. So it not involve the compounding. It is the interpretation, evaluation of the prescription or medication order and supply of drug to the patient in a suitable container. Okay, sometimes it requires to have a container. Suppose I have the loose tablets, so that loose tablets, in which pack I should give, whether I should give in the paper bag, plastic bag, whether the drug is, I know the drug is hygroscopic, if I give in the plastic bag, definitely tablets will become moist, sticky, so that is my decision. Then I will label it, because as we said, we are there to give the counseling point on the how to take a medicament, and will ensure that the patient will take the medicament very properly as expected by doctor. So subsequent administration also will take care. So this is the biggest responsibility given to you while supplying the medicament. One should ensure that what I am supplying to the patient is right, is a rational medicament. Because see the responsibility, you are the last person, meeting to the patient just before consuming the drugs. If we not correct that, if we not correct any mistake, or if we not understand whether the patient will take the medicament properly or not, there may be a danger. Why danger? I take a example of some antacids. Eno antacid, Eno. How many of you know the Eno? Yeah, it is open for you. Eno pouch is there, antacid. Anybody know it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what it
Yes,
contains? Yeah, what it contains? Don't take time. I am recording it. So this recording will be there.
baking soda.
Correct. It contains soda. It contains sodium bicarbonate. Correct. So my point is that, so this Eno is a simple sodium bicarbonate, as in the pharmacology you might have studied. It is an alkali having the pH, alkaline pH, and it neutralizes the acid. So this is one of the antacid. So what precautions are required, or which types of patient should not take this sodium bicarbonate as an antacid? Anybody? This is the simple drug, but for particular patient, or what are the demerits of sodium bicarbonate as antacid? Anybody? Okay. Suppose we take a sodium bicarbonate in excess. Many times the sodium bicarbonate is there in the food items, in the chapatis also, in vada pav also, in pakoras. What happens to you? If we take, usually हम बोलते हैं ना
Acidity.
एसिडिटी, क्यों एसिडिटी होती है? ये तो एंटासिड है ना, सोडियम बाइकार्बोनेट इज अल्कली, देन हाउ इट लीड्स टू द एसिडिटी? Yes, very good point.
It reduces the stomach acid. That is
No, see whether it is alkali or acid. Sodium bicarbonate is alkali or acid?
It's alkali.
It is alkali. Then how it produces the acid? So go on thinking like this. Correct. This is the major point. So this is the strong alkali as compared to the magnesium carbon hydroxide or aluminum hydroxide. These are there in the JeLUC. Correct. So it is a comparatively strong alkali because it is water soluble. Its pH is high. So it neutralizes the acid what is present in the stomach. Our stomach becomes acid free, or the acid is neutralized. And what body thinks? Body thinks that okay, there is no acid in the stomach. So body releases the more acid. It is called as the acid rebound effect. And that acid rebound effect is more serious. Acid rebound effect is more serious. Understood? So due to that sodium bicarbonate, natural acid present in the stomach get neutralized, and then the body releases excess of acid, and that is related to the acidity. Means one point. And second point is that it contains sodium. So which patients are restricted to use sodium? which patients are restricted to use
Hypertension.
fantastic. Means if I give this Eno powder to the patient having the blood pressure, so his blood pressure will high. Correct. So see the understanding means that Eno powder is not good medicament to neutralize the that acid or acid to treatment the acid in the patient having the blood pressure. So this is the understanding of dispensing. And what is the compounding? It's the skill, manufacturing skill, packing skill, storage skill, labeling skill. It comes under the compounding. So today's days are of dispensing. Therefore, I wrote the book Modern Dispensing Pharmacy. If we see, there are many chapters which are community pharmacy chapters. I made the base there in the Modern Dispensing Pharmacy. So these different definitions will take. So as somebody told, definitely community pharmacies work in the society to ensure correct and safe supply of the medicinal products. Fantastic. So they have the patient counseling part, what we see the administration and all this data. What is the hospital pharmacy then? So these are the hospital pharmacy. These all are registered pharmacies only. Means after your graduation, you will get registration from State Pharmacy Council. So here also it is a registered pharmacist, but working in the hospital. So it is a more managerial post. So they are working with the healthcare professional for appropriate drug treatment, ensuring the safety and effectiveness of drug, availability of drug, storage of drug. So all this it is handled by the hospital pharmacist. Now next term is the clinical pharmacist. So what is the difference between hospital pharmacy and clinical pharmacist? Anybody? So clinical pharmacy is more technical. It is more technical. It is more knowledgeable. So hospital pharmacy is more managerial. Definitely, he is also PharmD or a B.Pharm, maybe correct. But he have the more role in the procuring of the drugs, distribution of the drugs, cost effectiveness of drugs, all this. And the clinical pharmacy is direct involved in the drug therapy. It is a pharmaceutical advisor for a treatment strategies. Which drug should be selected, whether there is the interaction or not, whether the side effect or not, therapeutic drug monitoring, minimize the drug related problems, minimize the toxicity. All this is a part of clinical pharmacist. And last is the drug information pharmacist, because only drug is not important, but doctor should know about the drug, indications, contraindications, side effect. Nurse should know it, and finally patient should know it. So this is the drug information where the pharmacist involved in the providing validated and unbiased information to the patient as well as to the medical practitioners. This is the important point. So what is the fundamental of this pharmacy practice? There is a organization is called as the WHO. There is another organization FIP. So these organizations promote pharmacy practice at a global level. So WHO and FIP. So this 7-star pharmacy concept is given in 1997. So where the pharmacist should be caregiver. So I explained all this. Pharmacist should be good communicator. He should communicate with the doctor, nurse, patient, all the regulatory officers to have the good pharmacy practice. He should be manager. He should manage the all resources. He should manage the drugs. He should manage the doctor's help and all this. So he should be manager. He should be decision maker. Which drug should be taken? So which drug should not be taken? How then the which antibiotics should be there in the hospital? Which antacid should be used? It is called the drug formulary. So usually secretary of drug formulary is our pharmacist. He is the decision maker. He is a leader because he has to lead the pharmacy as well as the non-pharmacy people. Take together, and because it's central point at present also in the corona system. So our pharmacists who are working in the government hospital are the central point. They are managing doctors. They are collaborating with the doctors, nurse, patient, and they are the central technical point. So we are a leader. We are lifelong learner. Always new things are happening. Nowadays, which drugs are coming for corona? What is the side effect? What is the good effect? How is the treatment? This is our responsibility to give this information to the doctors. So we are lifelong learners. We are understanding what are the things going on. And lastly, we are teachers to teach doctors, to teach a patient also, because we are the central point. We are the master in the that drug, whether the drug synthesis is there, drug research is there, or drug use is there. So these are the 7 concepts. So all this our practice is based on this 7-start pharmacy concept. So this is the first introductory chapter on the community pharmacy or pharmacy practice. Okay, now I will take a review one by one. Preferentially, those who speak will be benefited because they have a chance. First, what is the difference between dispensing pharmacy and compounding pharmacy?
So dispensing is more of the supply of drug as per as a prescription to the patient and everything, and this compounding would be like the procedure for mixing, packing, and also the storage, labeling, everything, that kind of things.
Fantastic, very fantastic, good. Difference between hospital pharmacist and a clinical pharmacist.
Hospital
Hospital
pharmacist.
pharmacist is
New face, give chance to the others. Yeah.
Hospital pharmacists work more on the managerial side, and clinical pharmacists are more work on the technical side.
Correct. Which are the managerial sides?
In hospital, you manage all the patient info and all
Fantastic.
the
Patient info,
drugs
patient medication history we have to do. No. Then the drug formularies. Correct. Fantastic.
so the availability of drug is also included in
Correct.
hospital
And
pharmacy.
many hospitals, infusions are manufactured. So in our Bharati Vidyapit hospital, our students are doing the dose division. So the tablet they take from a medical store, they crush that powder and make a one pouch for the pediatric patient. It is the hospital pharmacy. Fantastic. Clinical pharmacist.
Clinical pharmacist does the patient counseling and also educates the doctors and the nurses about what drug interactions can happen if they give that drug to a patient.
Good. So patient
That is more
counseling.
technical.
No, yeah, good. Patient counseling is a normal for all. Community pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, because it is a basic fundamental.